here we go. The race has started. First world is World 2. We do have a pipe available right away, which could be a God pipe, and it is, but we do need to get rid of that block first. So, we'll have to do a few extra levels. So, one of the interesting things with the way the randomized world is set up is that blocks are sometimes put in places where they'll always make the world at least 2 levels longer on average. This is a good example of one of those. With these flags, even if they did have a hammer, they wouldn't be able to break the lock, as these flags have removed the ability for locks to break hammers. It's not normally a thing that you can do in vanilla, but in the randomizer, it was added. Gamercal making quick work of the first level. Raikourider had a little bit more trouble. Chased a mushroom. Although they did do different worlds, or different levels. We're gonna try and sync everything up for a moment. Okay, audio has been lowered. That should help a little. And, yes, it should be noted that Raikou did do an extra level. Due to the way the map was set up, he could have just done the level Gamercal did, and have, skipped doing that slow underwater level. Most underwater levels are fairly slow. Gamercal already onto the airship. It's the airship of level 2. We can all let out is this even randomized? And then wonder how many hits the coupling is going to be. Meanwhile, Raikourider having a little bit of trouble, lost a power-up, so he's gonna go out of his way to get another mushroom. But this is still anyone's game. Morton, I believe that was 3 hits. And with that, the first world is done. At about 2.5 minutes, that was ridiculously fast, even for these flags. Interesting that Raikou is going out of his way to do a Hammer Bros, only netting him a star. With these flags, it's generally a popular opinion that unless you have to do the Hammer Bros, it's not a good idea to go out of your way for it. So our next world is World 4. Our players will be needing to do one of the castles in order to open the path to the next castle. However, both are available from the start. It's a 50-50 gamble. And bit of a dicey fortress that Gamercal has gotten himself into. If Raikourider chooses next the other fortress, and it's the correct one, then that is definitely a spot where he can make up a lot of time. This is one of the longer and hardest fortresses in the game 7F2. So far the worlds have been pretty quick. I expect a gamer will be done in this world in about by the 6-minute mark. We'll see if the rest of the seed throws some trouble down the lines. Unfortunately, taking 2 hits there, that's quite a lot of issues. Quite a lot of you never want to take hits, especially at the end of 7F2. Oh, and the Fire Bros snipe on Raikourider. He might have to use that P-Wing or Star that he picked up. And he does use that star indeed, and it was the wrong fort from Gamercal. So if Raikou makes the correct gamble, then he's caught right up immediately. And he has! Gamercal speeding through the second half of that fort with the handy star, but both our players are small Mario, so this could definitely be dicey. Raikou also picking up the star, so he shouldn't have any issues. With these flags in the randomized world layout, it's just a 50-50 gamble away from being done. So our second airship is the World 1. gamercal using his P-Wing, making quick work of it. Fortunate for him, he was able to use the skip. The power-up in the World 1 airship is kind of irritating to get if you have to go out of your way for it, as you can't go above the airship. Raikou also using the P-Wing. And although Iggy does have stomps, he's only 3 hits, and with their P-Wings, wasn't really much to it. And our next world is World 5. Looks like the tower is going to be required. We saw the bridge was out connecting the 2 islands. So it could be interesting. I didn't see if there was a... There is, in fact, a castle on the second island, so what we could have is the lock is blocking the way to the castle, and you need to go through one of those pipes. Or no, my mistake. The tower will lead you to the second island. Hammer Bro suit, very vital for getting a fast Bowser quick kill. gamercal losing his power-ups yet again as... Oh, it's really unfortunate when you get the triple stars, because that's the easiest one to get by accident, and it's the one that costs the most time. gamercal getting 3 of a kind, or... No, that would be I don't know my card hands. We see a fire flower from gamercal, from the mushroom house. Not a horrible idea, especially if he's feeling not very confident. There is a power-up here, but could be a star. It wasn't in this case, and he didn't even end up using the flower, but still having the fire flower in backup is a nice safety indeed. Raikou also going for the same mushroom house. Our players are making very similar gambles, so it's going to be a very close race to the very end. Inconsequential boss bass aside, it'll be very interesting to see if that castle is required in order to get to the end of the world. We see gamercal doing that castle right away. Now that's an interesting strategy. Personally, what I would do is I would check the pipe to see if it's even required. Now there is a high chance, but it's still a chance that it's not required. And if it's not required, then that's a whole extra level that you're doing for no reason. Additionally, this castle has a 50-50 chance of just connecting the bridge, connecting the 2 islands and the mainland. Ooh, Boom Boom giving gamer some trouble. And raikourider is completely ignoring the castle, so... And it's not required! So just like that, raikourider has taken the lead, briefly. That's an unfortunate place to take a death on raikourider's side. Those dry bones can often troll you, so taking it slow here is pretty vital. It's pretty easy to get P-Speed by accident and just run right into something dropping on top of your head. He's taking the lower path. You can get an item here, and it happens to be a mushroom. Meanwhile, gamercal is taking the other path. Now, if you do the top path optimally, it is a little bit faster. However, it's also a little bit harder. So it's interesting to see the route divergence there. And the last level of World 5, it's one of the beta levels. Taking a hit on that, piranha plant, never something you want to do. Especially with, an underwater section. With Big Bertha, with bloopers, lots of bloopers, this could go badly for both our runners. gamercal took a death. That was unfortunate. And with that, raikourider's onto our third airship. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be the World 3 airship. Nope, it's the World 6 airship. So although gamercal is a little bit behind right now, he does have the Fire Flower. And as we've seen, both our runners have died quite a bit. The power-ups, especially if there's only a star available, can make quite the difference. Roy's 1 hit, Roy's 2 hits, Roy's 3 hits. Roy was taking his vitamins today. 5-hit Roy. At 5 hits, it might be faster if gamercal were to fireball him down. But gamercal opts for the safer stomp method. There is, of course, always the risk of accidentally soft locking if you use fireballs and stomp at the same time. gamercal risking none of that. Still only 10 seconds or so behind. And World 7, let's see if we can decipher this pipe maze. We got a lock blocking a pipe right away and an option with the super tank. raikourider going right for that. Now this might get rid of the lock, it might not. It's hard to say if it's this castle is required or not. We see gamercal also going for this, so we'll be interested, I'm at least interested to know if this was a required fortress or not. World 7 can have so many different configurations, it's almost impossible to know for sure with only a brief glimpse of the world. It does remove that lock. Is that pipe required? Well, it takes them right where they need to go, so both our runners made the correct call. Just one more castle away. It's the, apparently World 8 was invading World 7 today. But both our runners did make the correct call, luckily for them. And just like that, gamercal's closed the gap even more with his faster Boom Boom kill, courtesy of the Fire Flower. Oh, and Raikou did the stage, and gamercal noticed he had not one, but 2. So that's definitely something for gamercal's advantage, putting the piranha plants to sleep. And Ludwig, vanilla HP at 3 hits. It's good to get the World 4 airship out of the way on something easy like Ludwig, comparatively speaking. Of course to Wendy and Lemmy, which you never want to see on the World 4. Yeah, the cloud as backup definitely is quite the game changer, so it'll be interesting to see when and where that comes into play. Our fifth world is World 1, with a castle that's vanilla, Fred, but it's also behaving. Now, due to the position of the lock, we have to complete this castle normally if we want to save time, so even if a leaf was available, we wouldn't want to take it. Take the secret path, that is. Oh! A very unfortunate death from gamercal's side, allowing raikourider to catch up. Just like that, leads back in Raiku's side. Now we have had extremely easy worlds, and this has been a very fast match so far. gamercal unfortunately not getting the clip. But our next two worlds, Worlds 3 and World 6, and of course the last World 8, those are sometimes the worst worlds, so anything can go. Meanwhile, Raikou stumbling into 4-1. One of the water levels, fairly easy. He is going to pick up some P-speed with his Tanuki suit. But water is slow anyway, so that won't really mean much. This would be a good position to use the cloud in raikourider's side, but instead we have Fred. Did you even randomize this? And to answer your question, no. We randomized this, but Fred did make the program. Shoutouts to Fred. raikourider, again, not using his music notes, taking a hit. He did get a hammer, so this could actually be pretty important down the line in World 6. In case you didn't know, in World 6, there's a pipe that is always blocked by the hammer. And so that pipe could end up allowing you to skip the majority of the world. gamercal, however, also does the hammer rose, also gets the hammer. So, this is still anyone's game. And with that, let's see if we have World 3 or World 6 next. Now, if Peach gives a second hammer, we could do the double hammer strat for World 3. That usually isn't optimal, however, and almost certainly isn't possible. And we have a pipe right away. Is this pipe going to save us time? It most certainly is. raikourider doing the coin airship. And both our runners can use the hammer to skip that level there in the corner, if they so desire. That is exactly what raikourider appears to be wanting to do. Again, we do have the possibility of the double hammer strat for World 3, however, and we do have two hammers on raikourider's side, and that's what he chooses to do. That could be an extremely important gamble that might completely shift the tide in his favor. gamercal, he's heading back to the castle, noticing that it looks like locks are in fact in play here. raikourider running forward. as we do see, that lock is in fact in the way. And in fact, we've got 2 forts required, almost certainly, if not all 3, due to the fact that that one fort is blocked by a bridge. The fort at the very top. Raikourider heading into the water fort now, and just like that, it's an extremely close match. Now gamercal finding 7-6, my bad. How many tries for the clip? I believe that was 6th try clip. Now, although gamercal is a little bit ahead with the clip, Raikourider has done 1 extra level on the other side, meaning he saved a hammer. So, if World 3 requires a significant number of hammers to save time, then Raikourider can definitely do that, switching up the lead. But for now, gamercal would appear to be in the lead. Now we do see that, oh, Raikourider, he's not big for the clip, so he's gonna have to do this level normally. This is unfortunate. He's gonna take a death on purpose, but that's a very long distance to wipe back. Meanwhile, gamercal, he's doing another fort. It's the fire fort. Now, there is a P-speed strat. gamercal elects out of it. It is pretty risky, however, so you can't blame him. Unfortunate that he took the damage off that boo. These Potaboos, especially the last enemy, can cause quite a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Raikourider clipped pretty quickly, so that's fortunate for him. Raikou taking his foray into 2-4, I believe. And the 3rd fort was not in fact required, fortunate for our runners. And we see the World 7 airship at the World 6 location. Meanwhile, Raikou doing one of the beta levels. Looks like he opted to skip the fortress, which will save him a little bit of time in this situation. It wasn't required. Unfortunately, he didn't get the power-up here. But hopefully that won't make too much of a difference. There are 2 power-ups in World 7, in the World 7 airship. So, he could get quite a number of power-ups there. Instead, he opts to use a P-wing, I believe. gamercal about to reveal to us what World 3 has in store. We got a pipe right away. 1 level first. If this pipe is the God pipe, we could be looking at a potential sub 30 for these flags, which would be absolutely insane. It does look like the double hammer play isn't the way to go for this World 3, however. Unless this pipe leads to another pipe locked behind a lock. That is possible, and that would cause the double hammer to come back into play. Oh, we do need a lock. It is the correct pipe, however. And that does mean the double hammer is in play. 4-4, I believe, on Gamer's side. So Raikourider, he can just use the double lock, skip a few levels, and go right to one of the fortresses. And luck permitting, that might be the correct fortress, giving Raikourider the lead again. This is still either one of our runners' games. raikourider is going to check the pipe, see the lock, go back, and use the hammers. Now, it does depend on which fortress it is. If it's the fortress in the top right, then it's less of a time save. But if it's the fortress on the bottom there, then that is significant time save. Meanwhile, 5-3 that Gamer has to do. One of my personal least favorite levels. Quite a lot of enemies. Very easy to take a few hits. Oh, but Fort Knox on raikourider's side. It's one of the slower fortresses depending on how many power-ups you have, and with no power-ups at all, this is going to take quite a bit of time. I believe it's a full minute difference from having no power-up to having the ability to fly. The reason Cal didn't use the hammer is because Cal only had one hammer, and you need two, of course, to break through those double locks. Now, Cal might opt to do the northern fortress first, which, if it is the correct fortress, and the one raikourider is in is not the correct fortress, obviously, then that could make a huge, huge difference. And he does opt to go for the northern fortress. It's the ice fort. No way of knowing yet if it was the correct fort that Gamer chose. It was not! Oh, this is extremely unfortunate. With that, raikourider is 2 full levels ahead of gamercal suddenly. It's going to take quite a lot of World 8 difficulty for gamercal to catch up from this, unfortunately. And an extremely easy Wendy fight to boot. Yeah, Raikou does have the cloud too. That is important to point out. gamercal going to be looking, hoping that it's the correct lock, but unfortunately, it is not. Let's see how World 8 goes. It's still anyone's game. World 8 can throw a lot of stuff down. So far, fairly linear World 8 with one of the hand stages locked behind a lock. So that's not going to do much. We have we've got the Angry Sun level. I was gonna say 2- number, but this level doesn't really have a number. So speaking of 50-50s, this tank has there's 2 tanks. One of them is the super tank, one of them is just this level tank. And there's no real way of knowing which is which. Oh, raikourider taking the hit, unfortunately. And getting a star also, meaning he can't grab the shells. This is unfortunate. I did some timing actually earlier today, and from what I've seen, I believe it's faster to not actually grab that power-up, even if it is a leaf. If you're Big Mario, it's faster to just use the Buzzy Beetle shells normally. raikourider almost grabbing a 3rd star, but he fortunately didn't. And with that, so far a very linear 8. And it's continuing to be an extremely linear 8! This is one of the strangest World 8s I've ever seen. Also, it feels very vanilla. gamercal using the frog strats, I question these. I also question why he's not purposefully taking a hit in order to lose the frog status to move faster. Now, if raikourider gets a lot of hands, and orb, hand stages could make a difference. There's only 2 left in play. Actually, 1 left in play, but who knows if it's going to be required or not. Another frog from raikourider's side, but he's gonna get rid of that immediately. We see the World 8 Fortress in World 8. Is this even randomized? And we'll see if raikourider's able to get the 1 cycle. Taking a hit there, that's unfortunate, especially right there. Taking the double hit, and he's missing the 1 cycle. That is very unfortunate. Now, okay, so he is going to skip the power-up. That is what I would deem the better idea. Meanwhile, gamercal, unfortunately not able to grab that fire flower. I question why that item block is even there in the game. Neither of those 2 locks disappeared, so that is very interesting. So that means, by my calculations, I believe 2 fortresses down, I think the way to Bowser is in fact open. Meaning, we just need to find the correct pipe. Which is proving easier said than done. Actually, no, it might not be open. It could be behind that pipe at the very end there, which would mean another... No! The path to Bowser's open! raikourider, with his hammer suit, and a cloud to spare. Unfortunately for gamercal, it would take quite the hefty blunder for him to come back. We'll see how his Everyman clip goes. Gamercal blitzing it through World 8 Fort, but unless we have a death from raikourider, gamercal gets the 1 cycle at least. Still anyone's game, but we have a 3 hammer from raikourider, and that's game. raikourider, oh, gamercal just getting snagged by that hand at the last moment. raikourider finishing with an official SRL time of 33 minutes and 16 seconds. He has in fact taken our first match. This is, of course, best of 3, so 1, potentially 2 more matches, still anyone's game. Meanwhile, gamercal, he's found his way into Bowser's castle, so he'll be done in about a minute also. To answer a question in the chat, yes, they will be doing all 3 races right now, back to back to back, if they are required. Gamercal, finishing with an official SRL time of 34 minutes and 46 seconds. Items did make the difference here because it was all about hammers. So very interested to see how this goes in the future, in our next matches. So we'll get that set up, and we'll be with you shortly. So while we're waiting for our runners to get set up, let's talk a bit more about the bracket to get here. So the winner of raikourider versus gamercal is going to be playing the winner of Fonzoid versus Tapio J. raikourider being, I believe, seed number 3. gamercal winning against Dave Lindo, as I believe our 9th seed. So going forward, it's going to be a very, very exciting bracket. Coming up later today at 7:30 Eastern Time, we have Classic Gamer 88 versus Jabim. That's over on Speed Gaming 3. So if you want more Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer, you've got that later today. We do have different hashes on our runner side, so we're going to get that fixed up. So while we're getting this next match set up, don't forget to follow both of our runners if you want to stay tuned for more rando content. Both very good runners. gamercal, I know, does quite a lot of runs, and feel free to follow them if you want to continue them. Okay, looks like we've got the correct hash on our runner side, so we'll be starting in a moment or so. And our first world of the match is... drumroll, please.